This time from Yerushalmi Shabbos. The article is what edition of Daf Tzadi Beis Amud Aleph, third line from the top, the two dots Loshin La'ayin, which in the Vilna is the eighth line from the top on Ayin Hey Amud Beis. Loshin Ayin, you're allowed to use incantations to heal eye, umayim, or to heal the intestines, and to fend off snakes and scorpions. Ma'avin Ayin b'Shabbos, you can take cool vessels and pass it over your eye on Shabbos in order to cool down your eye. Ma'aser Rabbi Akiva, shechazto ayin, is he had some sort of overheated eye. And they in fact passed these cool vessels over on Shabbos in order to cool it down. Rav Rabbi Chia Rabbah. Rav Rabbi Chia, the great trainer army, they both said, Tishim and Tisha Mason Ba'ayin. 99 people die by the eye, but it doesn't seem like this is about an eye malady of the type we talked about just a moment ago, but rather ayin hara. And it says 99 people die as a result of other people's ayin hara, and one dies b'dei shamayim. In other words, don't think the percentages are the main point here, but the point is that a lot of people die because of the kitrug of other people, as opposed to dying on account of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's sending the Malach HaMavis independently to kill them. Shmuel, they both said, Tzaitas Mason Mitzina. 99 people die as a result of cold. One in the hands of heaven, which is very similar to the Maim and the Bavli that everything is Shamayim except for cold and heat. And a person gets sick because of cold and heat. It was his own responsibility, not HaKadosh Baruch Hu's sending him the malady. Gemara says, Rav Amarkadaite, Rav and Rabbi China both followed their own opinions, but here means more the situations in which they found themselves. Rav Aidei to have a Shorei Tama Rav because he was in Chutz La'aretz, in Bavel. The Eina Bisha Shchicha. There's a lot of Ayin Hara in Chutz La'aretz. There's much more bickering and fighting, and therefore looking askance at other people. The idea Shorei Tama, the Eina Bisha Shchicha. Taman, where there was Lab Ayin Hara. Have Amrei said Saites Mason Be'aina, 99 people died out of Ayin Hara. Ve'echel b'deshmai, one in the hands of it. Abechina al da'av Yisrael b'tziporin. Achina who lived in Tziporin, that seems to Taman, where it gets very cold. It's up in the mountains, and in the winter it gets cold. Have Amar Tisha Mason Metzina. He said 99 people die as a result of cold. Echel b'deshmai, and one at the heavens of heaven. Shulman Nachman said, it's the other part of the statement, Tzinim Pachim, the Tisha Matisha Mason B'Sharav, 99 people die as a result of heat. V'ech b'Yeshamayim, one in the hands of heaven. Rabbanan Amrei, Tisha Matisha Mason B'Shia, which is, I think, it includes the heat and cold in this. It says, Shane these harim mikor v'chaim, not careful of cold and heat, v'ribim machos, and eating too much, uvamashgelos, and involving too much in licentious behavior. It seems going to what the Rambam holds, that generally that kind of activity is unhealthy. Vakas, and anger, v'domem, anything similar which they damage their own body. Moshe says, in general, they don't protect their bodies from maladies. So the Tisha amazing B'Shia v'Echel b'Dei Shamayim. Yaakov Me'afrasim. And Yaakov from Ephraim, Faratayim, whatever it is, B'Shem, Rabbi said, V'yisir Hashem mimcha kol choli, because Baruch will remove from you all illness, zo sreifa. That refers to burning, and the unfortunately understand to mean fevers. The fevers are very dangerous, and they, especially before they had the antibiotics, a sign usually of a dangerous infection. Rabbi Chuna b'Tayla b'Shem Elazar ben Yaakov said, "Ve'yisir Hashem michal kol zeh ra'ayon." It's ideas. What ideas are there? So the Korea says, "Shekol ha'chaloim all the illnesses tluim b'hurim roim." They come as a result of bad thoughts, k'pachad oyev, like anxiety because you're afraid of the enemy, chaytzim v'anizakin, and other damaging things. So then you can't get rid of them until eventually they kill you. The similar thing with Moshe, Zeh Rayom Miloshan Rayon Cha Mishkavcha, your ideas on your bed. Sliku, I guess it's a version of that. Where he's quoting from. This is thought which affects a person. And the anxiety which a person puts on his heart very much so. Amar Rabbi Lazar, when Asan all our barzel tzavarecha, he's going to put a yoke of metal on your neck. That is these negative thoughts. That's the Yetzer Hara. Shorasho matok. The Yetzer Hara begins sweet, but so far mine and it's bitter. So it's interesting. It says it's a shorasho matok farish chalil shom mesikus. Kamar shlomer shom novas titof nasiv seizora. Chali sometimes means sweetness. It starts being sweet, but then it drips with fragrant spices. V'achlisa maraklano, and then it's bitter like I think lana is wormwood, some sort of bitter wood. Rabbi Tanchum Shem said, and Rabbi Nachman Shem Rab said, "V'yisir Shem michol choli zu mara." This is the mara. This is the bile. It's referring specifically to the bile or to the gallbladder, which produces the bile. But in any event, the Rabbi Elazar Tishim Eliezer Tishim B'Tisha Mesim B'Mara V'Eridei Shamayim. 99 people die as a result of the bile, and one dies at the hand of heaven. Okay, next Gemara goes on to study a different topic. We'll still issues of refuah. Roch to me amagadol. You can bathe in in the Mediterranean, Mediterranean, and the Kinneret. Even though you have a mind for healing purposes, because it doesn't, not obviously for refuah. Not in water which flax was soaked, which obviously people would not go into just for pleasure. And not in waters of stone in the Dead Sea. And people evidently would not swim in the Dead Sea for pleasure. Says Gemara, well, Amos I Wednesday she was mentioned miskavin l'refuah is when you're going into to these waters in order to in order to be healed. But if you're going to this water because it serves as a mikveh, so then that's okay. You should not spend time there, in the water, because then it's nicker. You do it for refuah. If you're momentarily, it has to look at actually going for tefillah. Tani, we learned sachin alintin l'chol b'Shabbos. You're allowed to take lintin, which is the Korea says yain yasha mayim tzluim farsimon, old wine, clear water, and persimmon, and this is done for some sort of refuah. Sachin alintin l'chol b'Shabbos. It says ma'aseh torah me'erev Shabbos, as long as you prepare from before Shabbos, you mix it from erev Shabbos. Avalot from Shabbos, you did not prepare from before Shabbos, so then it is also. The mayor allowed you to mix together wine and oil and to anoint the chola within Shabbos. And I think it's a mayor. I'm not sure it's a mayor because it sounds like it's a Mora. Maybe it's Rabbi Mona. I guess not. It must be an ancient brisa. Shimon Elazar Matir and Meir Shov Yam Shem Masul Chol b'Shabbos Kvar Chol Ray got sick. V'Gashel Asos Lokain. And wanted to do this for him. Lo Niachlanu. He did not allow us to do this for him. Amarlo, we said, Rebbe Mevatos V'Chayecha. Your words are getting nullified during your lifetime. In other words, you allowed this. Why would you not allow us to do it for you? Do this for you now. Armalan, so he said, even though I said this, I never would agree to do anything which my friends disagreed with me and prohibited. So the reason why I see the Radal, it says actually changing this. It's not Amr Shmuel ben Elazar, but Amr Shimon ben Elazar, which obviously is the name of Tana, and he brings that down from the Bavli. Okay, so that is that is our mayor. Okay, so that's what he says about Bavli as well. That he, even though he had his own shittas in halacha, he did not argue when it came to Maisa on the other chachamim. Okay, it says the Mishnah halacha dalet. Somebody who has a problem with his teeth. You shouldn't swallow vinegar, which is the Moshe says, if you swallow and spit up, it's like gargling, I guess. The muchamil still for COVID. It's for refuah. But you can swallow it if you're actually going to hold it down and fully swallow it as opposed to spitting it up. I might be darko, but you can be matbil. In other words, you can dip your food into vinegar and eat a lot of vinegar. The srape needs srape. And if you got healed, you got healed. Somebody who has a problem with his hips, you should not anoint them with wine and vinegar. I was sachos as shemen, but you can use plain oil. V'lo very, but not rose oil, which is a very expensive type of oil, which only rich people used to use. The children of the princes, not children, princes, children of kings, princes can anoint on their wounds shemen v'er. Came there from name melachim because princes do that even on a weekday. Shemen v'er kol yisrael b'nei melachim. All Jews are children, are princes, and therefore everybody would be mutter to use the rose oil on Shabbos. Ksiv. It says Gemara, Ksiv, says it's something difficult, bitter, is like vinegar for the teeth and like smoke for the eyes. And you said that people are taking vinegar for refuah. How does that work? It's bad for you. Our Mishnah is talking about a vinegar of other types of fruit, presumably I guess not wine vinegar, which is okay, which is healing. The say that it's talking about the simple meaning of the Mishnah, which is the regular wine vinegar. I think that was the standard vinegar back then. So the tav levishta, it's good when you have an ailment. Bish l'tav, so it's bad if you have no ailment. Tani, we learned chometz upolit. So like the Pnei Moshe said, you're not allowed to swallow vinegar and spit it out. But it says you're allowed to swallow the vinegar. You're allowed to swallow the vinegar as long as you hold it down. So it says, well, wait a minute. Masnisa Amra, the simple meaning Mishnah is not like we said. It's not like that, is it? Is it? It says Masnisa Amra mostly blah. Seems to say that you're not allowed to swallow it. Lo yigmas chometz. It says somebody who has a problem with teeth, he should not swallow vinegar. So what do you do with the simple lashon of our Mishnah? So I'm going to go to the carbonator here. Ma'gadom, my havi Allah. What's the conclusion? Rebbe. Asking on my brisa. The brisa going like Rebbe. My sisa chachamim. Our Mishnah is going like chachamim. Kedivra kol. Or it's about going to everybody. Chometz achar ptibulo. when you're swallowing the vinegar after you're dipping. After you you dipped you had your regular food. Come on, and then the vinegar is good for the swallowing the vinegar is good for you, as we will see momentarily. Okay, Rav Yochanan said, "Akoses chite chuma." Yisrael who choose Chews, who choose chite chuma, who choose wheat of truma is leike, gets malchus. So the Korban explains, even though you didn't eat them, the normal derachila chayev. Even you chew them and swallow them evidently. You come nana, you had enough from it. It didn't damage him. Fuke kos is so the part of the mazikin is opposed to somebody who chews barley, which just damages him, and therefore he has get malchus because he didn't get enough from him. Rabbi Avob Yochanan said, truma leike. If you swallow vinegar of truma, you get malchus, because you do get hanah from it. Hamagameh chometz shel truma. If you did it, that was you did liberally. If you did it by b'shoigeg inadvertently, mishayim is a keren. You pay keren. The ve'im mishayim is a chemish. You pay the principal, and you don't pay the chomesh. So even though if you did it amazing, you get malchus, it's still considered if you did it b'shoy you got chilosh lo kedarka, and therefore on chilosh lo kedarka you only pay keren not chomesh. So so too akaisis chitim shel chuma. If you choose the chitim shel chuma, that would be amazing. You get malchus. Shas keren and mishayim chomesh. So it's considered to be achila enough that you're not going to you get malchus of mesa, but since no shlokadarka, then you only pay if you did b'shoyeg the keren and not the chomesh. Rabbi says Omer ani, I say shumashayim is chomesh. That it is considered to be derech achila. So that's what we said before. Mal kedon oker Rebbe, right? So he holds that is considered to be derech achila to swallow chometz. So therefore, that Bryce said that swallowing the chometz is okay. That's going like Rebbe. Quite that first answer before. Rabbi Yerushalmi Shabbos said, "Moichel the Rebbe got mehr chomesh shel truma achar tibulo." The Chachamim can see the Rebbe when somebody swallows chomesh shel truma after you ate. Shu mishan kerem chomesh shel chomesh. That's like the second answer we've had. We said before. We got mehr according to the Kol. If we're talking about we got mehr achar tibulo. Shachometz me yashiv es hanefesh. Apparently, after eaten as a kind of a dessert, so then it's miyashiv es nefesh. It is restorative and good for the soul, and therefore it's the chil kedarki and pei keren v'chemesh. Chavrai b'shem Rabbi Bar Zavda. The Chaver same name Rabbi Bar Zavda. Kol shumin abesav v'lifnim merapin oso b'Shabbos. It's anything which is from the lips and in you can heal it on Shabbos. The says if you swallow, if you feel bad in your teeth, you should not swallow vinegar, and that's me a safali fnimu. So Amar so he says lo markein. So that's not the proper statement. El Rabbi Zir b'shem named Rabbi Bar Zavda. El Rabbi Zir b'shem Rabbi Bar Zavda said kol shemina chalom mifnim, not just behind the lips, but anything which is from the chol in the inner inside of the body. Merapin so can heal it on Shabbos. So the Radal brings down that the Bavli says that zaf choshish ba'alma. And Chanami, in Asafal Ifnim, you would be able to even be Michal Shabbos, but to do refu on Shabbos. This is was just a michush. It wasn't a choli. It was just he felt bad. It wasn't actual illness. Um, the Rabbi Zira, Rabbi Bob, Bar Zutra, Rabbi Chiyam, Hashem, Rabbi said, Mali etzem shel rosh b'Shabbos. I guess if someone got a dislocated bone in the head on Shabbos, you're allowed to relocate it on Shabbos. It says jaw, something like got place out of place. Article says the bone of the skull. Okay. Rabbi Chia bar Maria, Rabbi Yonah, Rabbi Zira, Rava, Rabbi Chia bar Maria, Rabbi Yonah, Rabbi Zira, Rava bar Zutra, China also b'Shem Rav, Malim benos oznaim b'Shabbos. This is some sort of I don't know, the gidei oznaim, because the tendons of the ears. It's a carbonate, so sometimes they go down, and this seems to be talking about more like the jaw, and so the cheeks go out of place, and you have to put them back. He says, carbonate says there's a sakana involved. Let's go this whole discussion here, both the things we're talking about in this part of the Gemara are actually just are sakana, or just, they're not necessarily sakana, but this type of food they're matir on Shabbos. Okay, Tam Shem Rabbi Yochanan, they said name Rabbi Yochanan. In Bible they said name Rabbi Yochanan. Evidently, ayin shemarda, if you have an eye which rebelled, in other words, it's somehow protruding in some dangerous way. You can heal it on Shabbos. Gabos yodayim gabos raglaim. If you have a wound on the back of your hand, on the back of the leg, it's a sakana, and you can heal it on Shabbos. Rabbi Yochanan said, "Hain simuka sakana." If you have a redness, it says a redness in the eyes, so that's a danger. Rabbi Avraham said, "Loktim lo oketz akrab b'Shabbos." You can gather for this redness the what's it called? The stinger of a scorpion on Shabbos. Evidently, they used to use that for refuah. He says it's refuah for the redness. Moshe says that it's refuah for a scorpion. If you were bitten by a scorpion, they take for you grasses, which are called iketz akrav. Okay, so it's I don't think scorpions bite. I think scorpions sting. So, but the way he says is that they're very different, right? Whether that's going back to simuka, and that's the remedy for that, or it has to do with scorpions in and of themselves. Rav said, "Hain chamra," applying wine on the eye. That's on the outside of the eye. That is permitted. L'gami eina shari. L'gomin eina, to put directly in the eye, is osir. It's forbidden because that looks much more directly like refuah. Shmuel marhein rok tafel. You have the saliva which comes out. You didn't taste anything the entire day. Also, take gabi ayin b'Shabbos. You're not allowed to put it on the ayin Shabbos. Also, that's clearly because of refuah. Minat shma lechazista. And from this, you could derive that this is also for chazazis, which is the machlok garab mentioned in the Torah. That also the way you treat on Shabbos is similar. That I guess was considered to be a sakara, and therefore you have to with a shine. Rabbeinu Kesarmin hada urona sakara. This is the udona. That was, of course, is a frog in Aramaic, and evidently it was a type of illness which afflicts the flesh, not necessarily related to the frog, but it is somehow the skin malady looks like a frog. Rabbi Chizkiah Achia b'Shem Rabbanan Kisrael said, "Hada achmunisha sakana." This is also a type of illness of some sort, and it is a sakana as well. Rabbi Shmuel bar Yitzchak hada gumrata sakana. Gumrata is also a type of illness, and evidently it burns like coals. Rabbi Yehuda said it's so dangerous. Nice little chametz on Pesach. You're allowed to use chametz on Pesach in order to heal it. And that brings us to the top of. So we'll stop here.